Good morning. I welcome the opportunity to endorse the Party for Change in Guyana. We need change. And a little bit of that comes with hope. There's change. Prior governments have mentioned change, but we've never seen that change materialize. I have hope that that will happen. And that's why I've decided today to endorse the Party for Change and to give them my full support. Everton Morris was born in Guyana. Georgetown, everyone comes out of Georgetown Hospital, it seems. I lived for a while in Kitty and then Essequibo. I migrated at the age of 20 from Guyana, a youth, lack of opportunity then in the 70s. And I spent about 40 years in America. Most of my time there has been spent working in the field of technology for major financial institutions in America. The major ones, the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargo, CIT Group, a little bit of Bank of America, BBT Bank, you name it. And it's been around financial systems geared towards consumer lending. Anything from a credit card, a debit card, whatever, a loan, a mortgage, I know it inside out. I like some of what I've heard from Robert in terms of his business acumen, and I think what he would bring to Guyana. You know, I came here today and I said, you know, what can we do to uplift this nation? You know, we're tired of hearing the word going green when we're already the 10th greenest nation on earth. What does going green mean? I'm tired of hearing from historians who look in the rearview mirror, always looking backwards versus looking forward. Our youths today are neglected. And I will tell you, there's some key themes we need to address to move our youth forward as part of a development program. I did a quick back of the envelope map at 4 o'clock this morning and says, you know, we got an $18 million oil bonus from ExxonMobil. It was spent somehow or placed in some fund, whatever. Why could we have used that $18 million to create 800 jobs for youths of Guyana for 4 years, just automating all the paper we have in GRA and all the other agencies? And it is a missed opportunity. Because the government in the past in Guyana always thought they know what was best for youths. They never asked for youths. So the government took it upon themselves to always make those decisions. More importantly, though, youths need to also be empowered. You youths of Guyana, we need to take back our country. We need to take it back from the corrupt politicians and the corrupt behavior that has been taking place in Guyana over the last 40 plus years. Everyone thinks of us as something marginal, as Nigel just said. Look at the proportion of spending, a marginal reality to the total budget. We need change, and we need change now. And that's why the Party for Change is the one that's going to bring about that change. In Guyana, I'm looking back, I came back 40 years later, and I will tell you, I'm disappointed in what I see. Things are just like I left it. There's some improvements in certain quarters. You get a little wider East Bank Highway, minivan running up and down. A little bit more in the private sector. Yes, just a little bit more. I mean, I see a little bit more business going on here and there. People are selling, buying. And I'm happy for that. But we could do a whole lot better. We have the capacity to be the 4th richest nation in the Western Hemisphere over the next 10 years. You guys know that? Per capita? Okay. And we don't have a government today that is well equipped to move us forward and to take advantage of that opportunity. I mean, you talk about Canada, you talk about USA, you're going to talk about perhaps Mexico, Argentina, Chile. Guyana comes next. Western Hemisphere drawing the line down North South America. We're not prepared. Okay. Just a couple key themes on youth development. I believe strongly in technology. I believe it's been something that's been keeping us behind. And you know the thing about Guyana is that we're a small ship in the ocean. We're not a big ship. There's 800,000 people, 750, whatever the number is. We can turn around pretty quickly. One area I saw in Guyana that I really was impressed with is our cell phone adaptation. Because in America we had landlines with AT&T, and it was a big technology company. We rip it apart, and we created 100 other companies. That's how the Googles and the Comcasts and all of them get born, by ripping AT&T apart. I don't know why. We keep talking about tearing up the Exxon contract. Let's tear up the GT&T contract first. Okay? We don't have the flexibility for call center and high-speed internet, whatever. Granted, I pay $10,000 a month for the internet service, which is mediocre at best. Technology, vocational training. Too many folks go to UG to become a teacher. Go to UG to become a technologist. I even used to comment to my kids one day, I says, you know, Dad, in the last 20 years in America, made more money than most doctors and lawyers per year in America in the field of technology. I'm not losing my own business. I work for companies. But that was the mindset of how things happen. I'm not going to get into, because time does not permit, but I've had some interaction with this current government, and it got me nowhere, just trying to bring change to them free of cost. And no one would listen. They were vacationing in Cuba. Second thing for youth development is employment. Don't train someone and don't have a job for them. You're making them more frustrated. Youths, that's what I'm telling you. We have to take back our country. Take it back from the politicians that have been running this nation and not giving us the opportunities we depend on. Health and education opportunities. Key. We've got to keep our kids healthy. That means between the age of some factor there, free health care should be available for our youths. Capacity building and advocacy. Okay? Our youths need to have the ability to speak up and to be involved in the activities of government. You know, contracts, if a contract needs to be signed and has to be confidential, it's not worth signing. There's something called a sunshine law. Wherever the sunshine, that contract must be seen. If you're going to sign a confidential contract, it shouldn't be for military assistance. It should not be for anything else. It should be visible, so our youths can see and render their input also. Hunger, poverty, and debt. You know, most youths under the age, I'll use the age 26, 27. I'll be a little bit conservative. Don't even have a bank account in Guyana. Don't even have a credit card. Don't even have a debit card. It's all cash. Can't even get a mortgage. I would ask our leadership to consider those motivations so that people on the age of 25 can get house lots and get a mortgage. And even if the government has to guarantee it, because we can always repossess if you don't pay. If the government has to guarantee it, get people a mortgage, get them to live, get them a home. It breeds a cycle of dependency, of their own interdependency versus living with mom, robbing a bank. And to my friends in the diaspora, these things help because, you keep hearing crime rate is down 3.5% from last year. What a myth. 3.5% is a difference, is a statistical difference. In America, we use that as an average to say anything less than 4% is statistical error. So, just imagine the number of crimes committed and not reported. I want to wrap up quickly. Housing, as I said, help young folks get housing. You start that experience of adaptation for them where responsibility starts at a young age. Culture, creating a culture of peace. And that's my last point. I had some personal experiences in the last, I re-migrated this year to Guyana 2019. I don't know, outside of Guyana, most of my friends that are Indians, we live like brothers and sisters. There's no difference in race. We don't talk about what's this and what's that. We all talk about what we do next to get ahead. You come back to Guyana and it's like we're living in the Stone Age. You know, I'll give you one last example of this, which really hit me 3 weeks ago. I hired a young kid to cut my lawn. He's from Echoes. Came over. Young kid, nice, I know his dad. His dad has a horse yard, he does work for me and stuff. Kid comes over, 13, 14, cutting my grass, you know. Mr. Morris, can I get a glass of water? No problem. You want ice with it? Yeah. So, so I talk and says, you know, why, did you vote for Granger? No. We can't vote for black people. I said, why? Mommy said so. Daddy said so. And I've had conversation with some black youths also that don't even want to hear about it. They won't vote for Indian. Buddy, until we solve the problem of race in this country, and that's where our youths can help us, because most of them didn't come up in the culture of that hatred in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s that we cultivated. And parents need to take responsibility also to ensure that, you know, we're born into a process, but we don't need to cultivate it with our kids. So kids, every time your parents tell you something and the light goes out, you pull out the light bulb and ask them, change, mom, change, dad. We voted for change. Okay? It's not about, and personally do it every time the light goes up, because blackout happens frequently. I've had 7 blackouts this week. Okay? So you pull out the light bulb, mom, dad, time for change. Change party. Vote for the change party. Get involved. Look at what's happening around the world. Hong Kong, the youths are taking back their country. Chile, the youths are taking back their country. Colombia, the youths are taking back their country. That's happening over the last week. Look at the paper. It's happening. We Guyanese just stay dormant, stay in a hole, and accept everything the way it is. Time for change. Time for change. Thank you.